concept for an all-new defensive-style buckshot load came to me when a YouTuber named Wade Rush, Bubba Rountree Outdoors, sent me a whole bunch of double-aught and triple-aught buckshot. Instead of just loading them traditionally like normal buckshot, I wanted to see how they would perform if we drilled holes through them and bound them together with a really lightweight copper wire. Now these clusters could still be stacked neatly inside of a shell, just like regular buckshot, and you could stack them in 2s, 3s, or 4 rows each. Now for these tests, we're going to keep things really simple. In fact, I'm using a Federal target load round here, and I'm just removing the lead shot, and we're going to replace that shot with 2 of these clusters of double-aught buck. In fact, we can only fit 2 of these in this shell. We then put a clear overshot card over the top and then give it a roll crimp. Now we originally had plans to use triple-aught buckshot, which is 36 caliber, but the dimensions were just wrong and we ended up with kind of Call of Duty shotgun physics. So we went back to using the 33 caliber double-aught buck, which also fits nicely in the shot cup.
Okay, I'm ready. 1295.
Now this was shot at 15 yards, velocity was around 1,300 feet per second, and here comes the clusters. We have about 2.5 inches of spread there. Rather impressive. We still have spread, but we also have a lot of concentrated energy hitting those spots. The total payload weight is about 7/10 of an ounce, so the recoil is very light and manageable, but the concentrated energy more than makes up for it and really delivers a tremendous punch. Let's head back out to the test range and finish these tests up.
Welcome back, Taofleder folks. Welcome to Taofledermaus, which is the last remaining channel on YouTube for adults. Today we're shooting the cluster buck round. This is a concept round that Jeff's been working on. He's going to show you on the tabletop, so I'm not going to describe a bunch of it. But today we're working with the world's largest block of gel, what they call the BFG. I'll let you guess what that stands for. We're going to shoot this eventually, but we've got some other targets downrange to show you how these things pattern and are they going to hold together for us and act like they're supposed to. Low recoil, tight groups. 15 yards?
15 yards exactly, yep. Man, this overcast is tough for a high-speed camera, but we'll try to make it work.
It's very comfortable for the shooter.
It is
though.
so nice out here. Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. Ooh, that was very light recoil actually.
Right.
On this test, everything went quite well, except we had a wire breakage, and that just reminds us how fragile that wire actually is. We want it to hold the cluster together, but also be weak enough to break apart when it hits fleshy material. In case you're wondering about the weird paint job, we started repainting this target black, and then I realized we wouldn't be able to see the pellets against the dark target.
Here we go.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of hard to believe after seeing this that it's only a 6-pellet buckshot load. You'd think we shot it with a 12-gauge slug. And of course, when the clusters hit the melon, the wire breaks apart, the pellets all fly in different directions, creating a lot of different wound cavities. So far, it's looking really good for the cluster buck.
So yeah, that thing performed like it was supposed to. And again, shocking how little recoil there is on that round. So
Another Clear Ballistics product.
70-pound gummy bear.
It's 12 pounds, but
It should be noted this is the elusive North American tarpless gummy bear. There is no tarp.
Oh no! If he falls in the dirt,
I know.
can you imagine that? You'd have to
put
wash it
down
off. Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. Oh,
There he
and
goes.
Out front. Thought he was going to stay still.
In this shot, we had a little bigger spread, and the top one, again, the wire broke, but is that really a failure? Because it kind of acted like a cheese cutter. Pretty nasty. And yes, you can buy this Clear Ballistic Gel Gummy Bear from the folks at Clear Ballistics. There will be a link in the description.
All right, this one Jeff has named Norm. So I guess that's his name. This actually is just 2 clusters without the wires. It's wireless. No wires.
What happens if you shoot 6 buckshot without wired together?
Yeah.
In other words.
So we put a guy downrange that we can watch the pattern. We got a big giant cardboard target downrange. We can see it pattern. Let's give it a try. Smooth bore again. See how it works.
Okay, I'm ready. Center.
Here we go. Center mass and the. Here we go. Center mass. Whoa. Whoa.
6 loose pellets, 1,300 feet per second, 15 yards. And just like the cluster buck, these were loaded into a Federal field and target shell. And instead of 1,200 feet per second, we're getting 13. We're squeaking out a little more speed out of these things because we're using a lighter payload.
Sun's coming out again.
Yeah, for a little bit, but that storm looking thing is coming our way.
I know. I think it's going to rain up north. Okay, big aluminum plate.
Aluminium.
Aluminium, as the British say.
Cheerio. Here we go.
Pip pip.
Ooh, listen to that ring. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that ring.
So after seeing these tests, do you think it's better to have the buckshot loose and in a large pattern, or concentrated like this? Now for the most part, these are working exactly as I designed them to work. Now instead of going through all the trouble of drilling holes through all the buckshot and sticking a copper wire through there, how about just casting them in that shape from the get-go? That would make a lot of sense.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Little cluster of 3 right here. Looks almost like a little cat paw. Cluster of 3. Threesome. And then over here, while it initially looks like 2 balls, I will caution you that this little indent over here on your right.
This is the way they hit.
Yeah, it's a little wider. Sometimes your balls are hit both in the same place, and then sometimes one of them lands over here to the left.
Yeah.
So you just never know where your balls are going to go. Anyway, this is about Jeff estimates about an 8-9 pound chunk of aluminum.
It threw it pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would move that much, you know.
And it rained. More impressive though, let's get back to this. Nice little cluster, nice little group for those 2 clusters to have hit.
Yeah, again, about 2.5 inches apart maybe.
Yeah. So the concept being, if this was a home defense round, not only do you have low recoil, but you've got 6 total balls hitting the bad guy 2.5 inches apart, versus at 15 yards, we saw the last one would have been 12, 14 inches apart. So,
Yep.
Yep, the concept works. We tied them all together. Bondage.
I don't know if it's a new idea. I've never seen it before. I've seen other concepts where they wired all the balls together on little copper coiled up springs and stuff, and it's very complicated.
You're gonna get 8,000 comments right now about how you should have done it.
Yeah.
You guys should have tied them together with the hair of an elf. You should have used the string
Kevlar, yeah.
Spider.
No, these are prototypes. I used what I had, the copper telephone wire, very lightweight wire.
Yeah.
It's strong enough to hold together in most cases.
Yeah.
So that it flies together, but then it breaks apart on impact, you know, on a fleshy target.
Which is what you want, because you do more damage with those things breaking apart on target than you do with that little cluster still flying through your bad guy.
Yep.
Either would be devastating, but the former is definitely.
And another benefit of a low recoil is faster
follow-up time.
Follow-up shots, yeah.
Faster
a lot better control.
Yeah, this is actually a very controllable round, very easy on the shoulder.
Okay, water jug with special guest, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
It's always good to have beaver and jugs in the same place. I'm going to shoot right for that little circle.
Okay, gotcha. Ready.
Here we go.
Oh, nice.
That
was pretty impressive.
That was a good blast, actually.
You think you hit that thing with a 1-ounce slug.
Here we go. Oh,
nice.
Now in the remaining shots, I put a fiber wad on the bottom of the shot cup, which seemed to cause a little more spread. Sometimes little details like that will make a noticeable difference, and sometimes they just make no difference at all. All in all, I'm really happy with the performance of this round. I expected a lot more failures, to be honest, and that's really normal with weird prototypes like this. Now, whether or not it would be marketable by somebody, I have no idea. I just throw the concepts out there and let people decide.
Okay, we got a challenge for Gregg here. A tiny little soup can.
The storm was rolling in, the wind was picking up, and, well, Gregg missed. But he probably would have missed if he used buckshot too. It's still a really neat shot. I was really surprised how stable flying those little clusters actually were. I didn't expect it. I expected them to tumble around.
It's hard to get it in frame, it's so big. Okay, I guess I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Wow. Wow.
I was really quite surprised at the ballistic gel test. It almost seems overpowered. We had a lot of over penetration. You can see a couple of the lead balls that hit the armor plate. They just flattened out. They still had a lot of energy. Now, Gregg was shooting from 5 or 6 yards away, much closer than our previous test, and the clusters did not spread apart at all. They just went through the same hole. And then, of course, they broke apart and formed 6 wound tracks. And again, it's surprising that this payload only weighs 7/10 of an ounce, or 20 grams, or 310 grains. Now, as I mentioned before, the storm was rolling in, and it started getting windy. We, of course, had no idea that it was creating a bunch of wind noise. So I'll spare your earballs some pain. But he's basically just talking about what I've already discussed, the temporary wound cavities and all that, and how the pellets hit the steel plate, flattened out, and all that.
Good concept. It's a good concept because you've got 6 total balls tied together in 2 little clusters of 3. So as you've seen out here, it actually does reduce the group while at the same time making a low recoil round that would be better for spouses, children, older people like that. Be much easier to handle as a home defense shotgun, and yet a tighter pattern.
Very, very lethal. I think it's super lethal.
Well, you can tell right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a little childish. That's not a, you know, experimental wound track. That's pretty dang good right there.
Yeah, these things mean business. It's doing more with less.
Yep.
That's the way I see it.
This is more damage than you're ever going to find with a 9mm round or a 45 round or anything like that. Maybe not a rifle round, maybe not a complete load of double-aught buck or a slug, but remember, that's not the concept behind these.
Yep.
It's a controlled expansion in a low recoil round. So yeah, absolutely. Tie them together.
I've had, you know, like I told you earlier, I have a lot of older viewers who are, you know, adults.
Yeah, because it is
but they're older, and they're like, oh, 12 gauges is too much for me, and we wanted to give them an idea for a lightweight but very effective round that they could still use.
Yeah. So now it's up to them to build this? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think somebody should, you know, either make a mold where they're already fused together.
Yeah, 3
Wouldn't
balls,
that make more sense
right,
than
a
drilling a bunch of stupid holes?
A three-leaf cluster, little 3 balls molded together, and then stack 2 of those into a shot shell.
Or 3 or 4, whatever you wanted to do.
Now you're going nutty on it.
Yeah,
Jeff.
and size it so that it'll engage rifling. Now you have rifled buckshot.
Yep. Today we've only used a smooth bore because these weren't going to engage rifling.
We did try them in a rifled shotgun in our earlier tests, and I'll show you some clips of that.
It was
yeah, it just ripped them apart because they were, and those were triple-aught buck, and those were just way too big for the bore diameter. It just jacked things up. Thanks.
That was about 2.
So anyway, let's stop talking and
yeah, let's wrap it up. We appreciate you guys for stopping by. We're about to get a storm, can you believe that, in Central California at this time of year. So we're excited about that. It's cooling off the weather.
Yeah.
We'd like you guys stopping by. Give it a thumbs up down below. Comment what you think about these rounds all tied together with a piece of wire.
If you're an adult and you appreciate stuff like this, we definitely enjoy your comments.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you on the next one.